What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So it appears we have some news about an event that's going to feature Hogwarts Legacy, but it's not necessarily something that's geared towards gamers. But in my opinion, I feel like every gamer or anyone who is interested in this game at all needs to take the time to actually see this event, if at all possible. Now, before we even jump into it, I'll explain my reasoning as to why. But let's go ahead and give credit to where credit is due. So Mark Zeilman, I don't know who this person is, actually went ahead and posted on Twitter about this particular event. So shout out to them. It doesn't seem to have garnered a lot of attention so far, but I was so interested in it because over the past few years, I dabbled into learning game development. It was so hard that I almost fell sick in the process because I spent so much time learning. So my appreciation for game development has actually grown a lot. Now, the event that I'm actually citing here, that I'm pointing to, is actually being hosted by a company named Autodesk. Some of you may or may not have heard of this company. This company is into making software that is used in architecture, design, animation, and they actually have a series, like it's a virtual event. It's actually free, and you actually basically get to hear from the creative minds behind the year's hottest games and critically acclaimed series. And it starts on August 3rd, and they have sessions for the 2 days that it's going on. They have Forza Horizon. They actually have some stuff regarding some TV stuff, and then behold, bam, Hogwarts Legacy is actually going to be getting featured. So Warner Brothers Games Avalanche is going to be giving an inside look at Hogwarts Legacy. And basically what this is saying is discover how Hogwarts Legacy characters, animations, and cinematics were created and refined using Autodesk Maya and Motion Builder and brought to life in Unreal Engine, from virtual production performance captures and character rigs to real-time cinematics. Take an in-depth dive into the project and learn how Avalanche used an Autodesk short grid pipeline for cloud-based tracking and review. Now, in our community as gamers, one thing that I noticed is most of us gamers are not necessarily aware of what it actually takes to make a video game. In fact, just yesterday, a senior programmer and developer that works on Call of Duty actually tweeted and said he felt that game developers had failed to teach gamers or expose gamers to what it takes to actually make a video game. And I think the onus is really on the development side. It hasn't necessarily been exposed to the community of gamers for the most part. So most times we gamers, we say some things that unless you've actually dealt with game development, you would not know how ridiculous those things are because we just don't know. And it's kind of this kind of ignorance that is almost innocent and cute in a way. But at this stage, having had the opportunity for people to be able to share ideas with the internet, I think we no longer have that excuse anymore as gamers. And it leads me to my conversation in my last video. I made my video where I talked about, Quidditch being in Hogwarts Legacy or not being in Hogwarts Legacy. And I said for the developers not to pursue this actually is a good thing. And the community is somewhat split. And I understand that the community is somewhat split. Some people have said this is such a big game. It should probably have been something that they actually put in the game. And I get it. But many people don't necessarily know that if you design something like Quidditch, and I know Quidditch has appeared in other Harry Potter games, I get it. But in today's modern technology and design, especially when you're trying to do all of these different things, to create systems, to create mechanics that are in this scape, because your old Harry Potter games were not necessarily like this game. You would have to take time to refine mechanics over and over again and put in so much work and effort that, to me, from a development perspective, it will be better off that something like Quidditch made its way into a DLC. Because for those who may or may not know, I do have some developer associates that I talk to who are actually in the industry, and it's not like I'm bragging. They just reached out to me and we just formed, kind of a friendship, and I asked a lot of questions. And that's one of the best things about, game development and video games is you get to learn. And somebody in a game development studio, big studio, by the way, told me that a DLC would get its planning phase during the development of the game. So if there's any DLC for Hogwarts Legacy right now, it's already been planned out to the maximum level. It's literally already being worked on as we speak. If Hogwarts Legacy is going to be coming out this year, its DLC is already in development if they have DLC. So this is actually a big deal for us to know, and a big deal for us as gamers to pay very close attention to. And I think this is really going to serve the community. It will give everyone a greater appreciation as to what it is that the developers are trying to do over there at Avalanche. I think very much so people are going to be wowed by some of the process. Now, another thing too that I have to also give as a caveat is usually these kinds of presentations, they don't necessarily go too much in depth. I don't necessarily know what the timeline would be for these sessions, but I'm hoping that they would just sit there and just go, as crazy as possible. Maybe do a 1 hour presentation. That will be insane if we can actually take a look at these particular, systems, take a look at these things as they're actually being presented. But I wanted to go ahead and just highlight this for the community. Mark your calendars. If you have the time, it's going to be super cool. I'm probably going to be very busy on that day anyways, but I'm going to keep in my back pocket notifications and my phone trying to find a way to actually watch this if I get any free time. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have been doing in supporting this channel, and hopefully we'll talk very soon. Peace out.